for the most part, men who are sexually attractive have more flings, they have more situationships, they have more one night standos. You know what I'm saying? They have way more little quick interactions with young ladies than they do relationships, than they have with long term relationships or committed relationships, things of that nature. Now, notice I said for the most part, and I'm going to get into it. The Solidtarik talks. You guys could have been anywhere in the world, but you are here with me. So let's get into this subject. For my guys that can relate, you know what I'm talking about. For my guys who get a good amount of attention when they go out or when they're going places, what have you, in their social circle. For guys who get a lot of attention and who, for the most part, when they go out, they have a relatively easy time with getting a new girl, right? With getting the attention or attraction of a new girl. These guys can relate. And they have way more flings than they do relationships. When they get with women, they have a lot of sexual interactions, because usually it moves along quick. It moves along rather quickly because for whatever reason, it's a combination of physical looks, a physicality. You know, I'm not going to say that it's not. I'm not going to say that the physicality part does not come into play, and you could build yourself up to that. This video is not saying, hey, these guys are just born looking like Greek statues and they just get all the chicks. Now, is that a thing? Yeah, it might be like the 1% of the population, but for the most part, most guys have to, work on that. To some guys, it comes naturally, right? Some guys, it comes naturally. But with that being said, I say that to say this, is that you can work on yourself to make your choices more frequent, or to have a more of an abundance of choices. And these guys, they have an abundance of sexual choices, of sexual choices. And from here on out, I'm gonna say sexual, right? You guys know the drill if you are watchers of this channel. They have sexual choices. Now, most men, the average man, and mind you guys, the type of guys who are like this are very few and far in between. This isn't the average guy. The average guy he pretty much has to lock in what he has rather quickly because his options aren't that great, whether it be his physicality, whether it be his personality, a mixture of both. His sex appeal just isn't up there. And a man that has S appeal, he can leverage that. He has a great power, right? He has a great power in the sense that he can generate more sexual options, because there's a whole, when dealing with women, there's different kind of options that men have. There's the sexual, there is the money option, like you are pretty much her ATM, her attention option, or relationship option, which there's nothing wrong with relationships. Okay, there's nothing wrong with relationships, and guys that are sexually attractive can most certainly have relationships. And to be quite frank, the more successful you are, and when I say successful, I mean career-wise, the less time you have to entertain every single chick that you come across. You're not going to have time to do that. Most of the time, guys who really are out here, entertaining a whole bunch of chicks in an sexual manner, have a lot of time on their hands, okay? Or they have more time than a dude who's like really on his shit, on his grind, okay? So that's just a little quick caveat. And a lot of guys who are sexually attractive, but they maybe run a business or maybe have things to do, or maybe they have a family, right? Maybe they're raising a family. They settle down with one woman. But even then, guys who are ethically attractive, even when they do get in relationships, of course, the attraction is not going to stop. And obviously, if they hit the weights, they have a good physique on them, if they have a nice little routine or style that they keep up with, they have good hygiene, keep a nice haircut, look well groomed, and they have a personality, of course, that attention does not stop. And it kind of increases, you know what I'm saying? It kind of increases because women see you with children, right? With another woman or another woman, singular, damn, that damn word. They're gonna be like, okay, you know, this guy, he could pull, okay? He could pull chicks. But, you know, I'm just talking in that particular instance where a guy, it settles down and stuff like that. Even then, the attraction doesn't stop. He's just with one chick, okay? Now, guys who are single, the ones that are ethically attractive, of course, if they're getting a lot of play, it's just in a man's nature for him to soil his oats, so to speak. Soil his oats in the sense that he is going to have a lot of flings and he is not going to want to commit. You hear a lot of females talking about guys who are non-committal. Those type of guys that they're talking about are dudes who get a decent amount of play. They don't feel like committing is a thing that they want to do. You know, they don't feel like committing is something that they want to do because they know they can get other chicks every time they step out the house. They see or, you know, they interact with young ladies. And a relationship would obviously mean that he has to be with one woman, right? Now, like I said, there's nothing wrong with that. And eventually, at some point, everybody is going to settle down, okay? At some point, if you're trying to build a family, you settle down, okay? Or you get with somebody who is a great mate, right? That you find is going to help you build a legacy and so on and so forth. But let's be honest, if a man is getting play from women, he's going to like that. And like I said, for the most part, a lot of guys don't really experience this. Most guys have to accept a relationship from the first chick that comes their way. This is just how it is. They want to lock down the first chick that they talk to or the first chick that shows them even a bit of attention. And guys who are players, whatever you want to call them, a lot of chicks will complain, will talk about them, even though they actively go for them. That's a different story, right? Even though they will actively go after these type of men, they will talk mess and talk about their non-committal, their dogs, they do this and do that, even though the guy didn't really show any signs that he wanted to settle down. And these type of guys, you know, they show signs that they don't want to be in a relationship because of, first of all, a lot of times, like I said in the beginning of the video, these are guys who move things along ethically or sexually rather quickly, meaning the young lady gets intimate with him rather quickly because she sees him as a sexual option. Remember when I said that in the beginning? She sees him as an sexual option. She's not really looking at him as somebody that is like, oh, I have to make him wait and I have to do this and follow this type of rule plan. No, she's looking at him like she has a attraction to him. She has an animalistic attraction to him, and that's what she wants. And you know, the guy, this is the kind of interaction this guy has with most of the women that he meets. Now, of course, not every single one. There are going to be chicks that try to do that whole, I'm going to make him wait and I'm going to string him along and make him an attention guy. Because, hey, what's better than to have an attractive guy give you attention? And just because, let me differentiate this, guys. Just because a chick finds you handsome or attractive, whatever, doesn't necessarily mean she wants to be intimate with you. She could find you attractive, but she wouldn't really mess with you like that. But she'll use you for attention because, hey, why not? Right? That's how she's thinking. But for the most part, this guy has dealt with enough women that he realizes that, hey, I get intimate with these chicks quick. I get intimate with them really fast. So I'm not finna sit here and wait, right? Or play this whole waiting game or whatever it is, because I've had plenty of experiences where I was intimate rather quickly. And the intimacy is rather quickly, and a lot of guys that are, on the average, because like I said, the average guy, this type of stuff doesn't really happen like that. He doesn't really get intimate within one night or the second night or whatever. He's got to wait, right? He has to build up this slow anticipation and this and that. So it's kind of hard for a lot of guys to envision them having a whole bunch of flings and one night stands and so situationships and all that. It's hard to imagine that because most of the chicks that they've been with, they impose this whole relationship thing on them off the get-go, right? They impose this whole relationship thing off the get-go. Now, I'm not going to get into religion and I'm not going to get into certain other lifestyles which both parties agree to a relationship. And in that case, that's completely fine. I know some people have beliefs and religions to where they want to have a relationship before intimacy. And even then, a chick, if she's super sexually attractive, right? Hey, look, she's going to be all over you as soon as you guys do what you need to do for whatever your belief or nomination is, right? As soon as y'all tie the knot, she ready to get clapped, But, this is something that not a lot of guys see, because these type of guys that are sexually attractive, they're going to get play from their job. They're going to get play when they go out. And all of these guys, his friends are going to see this. They're going to be like, yeah, this dude be getting some play, And chicks don't mind having situationships with this type of guy, right? They don't mind having situationships with this type of guy. What is a situationship? Situationship means, hey, look, they meet up on a Friday night, Saturday night, blah, blah, blah night. They get it in, and then she bounces. Yeah, they might go out, stuff like that. They might go out and hit a bar or two or something like that. But for real, it's not really a committed thing, because she kind of just sees him as a D appointment. Basically, this type of guy is the type of guy that's going to be a D appointment for chicks. And a lot of chicks have guys that are D appointments. It is what it is. Sometimes these guys do turn into relationships. Sometimes they do, if the personality is there and stuff. But all the chick is really looking for is that, is that intimacy. And yes, of course, if his personality is cool, at some point, the chick is going to want a relationship. She's going to want a little more because she wants more of this particular guy. But for the most part, this type of guy is the type of guy who's going to have flings, He's going to have easy flings. See, he has the most natural type of interaction with women. If I could really paraphrase this, he has the most natural interaction with women, which is the most purest, a sexual interaction where they both find each other sexually attractive on a most human level basis. She's not thinking about finances first. She's not thinking about what this guy could do for her. And of course, as females, you know, they're gonna think like that at some point. Don't get it twisted. Don't think that they're not gonna think like that at some point. But off rip, she's not gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make this guy wait and make him you know, do all of this stuff for me so I could so I could get him to commit to me and stuff. No. She's like, I want this guy. I want this guy. And yes, women do be thinking like that, you know, when they're super sexually attractive. And guys who can relate, they know what I'm talking about. Guys who put in that work, who hit the gym, who, you know, worked on their personality, they know what I'm talking about. These chicks, you know, chicks want to be intimate just as much as men do when they find a guy sexually attractive. So when they look at him, that's the first thing that they are thinking about. The first thing they're thinking about is, I want this guy in an intimate type of way. That's what they're thinking. They're like, ooh, you know, they look at him. And for my guy, you know, I'm not going to get too advanced or too deep into this, but my guys that do well with women, you guys know what I'm talking about. When you walk in somewhere and a chick gives you that stare, right? She gives you them elevator eyes. She gives you that kind of lustful look, you know, that kind of lustful look, like, yeah, I want you type of deal. And these are the type of interactions that these guys have. And as men, you know, of course, when we're single, we're gonna want a lot of it from different type of chicks. You know, that's just in our nature. We're gonna want a lot of it from a different type of chick, from different types of chicks. And hey, if you're that type of guy, you're gonna want it from all ethnicities of chicks and all different type of flavors. Of course, with each guy, you're gonna attract more of a kind of a chick than another. For example, if you're a country boy, you're gonna attract the more countryer type of chicks. If you're preppy, you're gonna, you know, attract that. If you're more hood, you're gonna attract more of that. You guys get what I'm saying. But the fact is, you know, you're gonna be getting a lot of attention. So in your mind as a man, why would you commit? Why would you commit so quickly or so haphazardly to one chick when every time you step out, it's a newer chick? And with these type of guys, their sexual vibe or their sexual energy is very high. It's hedonistic, you can kind of say. It's on a hedonistic level. And if you don't know what hedonistic means, it's pretty much the type of person, man or woman, that's more in touch with their animalistic side, right? Especially when it comes to sexuality. Like this type of guy wants different chicks. You know, he really has no moral qualms when it comes to that. He doesn't have any moral qualms with attracting different types of chicks and getting with different types of chicks. And this is something else too. This is something else that not only your physicality or physique, but that kind of energy, that kind of sexual energy that these guys possess is what really puts them up there on the food chain, so to speak. Not only are they physically fit and, you know, they have looks to some extent. I'm not going to go black pill here, right? But they have looks to some extent, but they have that kind of sexual charisma to where when they talk to women they know what's up. They feel that vibe from that guy. And he doesn't have to be overt with it. They can just feel it. They can feel that kind of, in layman's terms, it's smoothness. It's when they say a guy is smooth or he has game. He just can connect verbally as well with the chick, on top of she likes what she sees. And bam, that type of guy is on top of the food chain. And this is This is that type of guy is the main type of guy who gets play a lot. And he's top of that food chain now. This type of guy is not common, like I said, because A, most guys are out of shape and their body does not scream S appeal. And two, or B rather, one or two, A or B, whatever, their S appeal or their sexual energy is not that, it's not all there. So they kind of like that sexual energy when they talk to women, to where they automatically get labeled as a guy that is good to have a friend. They don't look at this guy as someone who they would want to be intimate with. They don't look at this guy and think to themselves, dang, I would want to do something freaky with this guy. They don't look at him like that. And that's another video in itself. He doesn't have that type of energy, you know. And shout out Rom Wills, of course, people who practice the body game. You know, getting in shape is going to enhance that part a lot. But even then, he just, you know, most guys don't have that type of energy. But these guys, they have that type of energy. They have that type, I guess you could call it swag. I guess you could call him an F-boy. Guys that are called F-boys usually have high sex appeal, right? Whether they have their own little hairstyle, whether they got a little beard, you know, whether they got a tattoo or two. And I'm not telling you guys to get tatted up and all that stuff. I'm not telling you to do all that. You don't have to have that. But, you know, their clothes fit a little more tighter. So when a chick sees them, they automatically know what's up with this type of guy. They're like, oh yeah, this guy, he about that life. He's about that action. He doesn't give off friend zone vibes. He don't give off friend zone type of vibes. This is the type of guy that, you know, makes good eye contact, and when he talks to women, it's usually has an sexual charge to it, a sexual charge to it. And these type of guys, they move things rather quickly with women. Whether if he meets her at a lounge, he'll ask her, "Hey, look, let's go back to my spot," and she'll be like, "Yeah." Now, guys, be careful with that, obviously. Or if he meets a chick online, you know, he might go on a date, or he might meet her somewhere, and within an hour or so, they're already getting freaky with each other, right? This type of guy has way more flings because, hey, look, he can, and it's fun to him. That being said, hope y'all enjoyed the video. Peace.